Hola everyone! Mama Mia po ang inyong lingkod and syempre ngayong araw na ito, tatapusin na natin ang kwento sa buhay ni Yana. I know you're so excited na. Sino kaya ang dapat niyang piliin? Charot lang. Sino ba talaga? Anyways, bago ang lahat ng yan, nais ko munang mag-thank you sa inyo dahil lagi pa rin kayong nakasubaybay at nagmamahal sa channel nating ito kahit na paminsan-minsan hindi tayo nakakapag-upload due to health concerns and other factors, alam niyo na. Pero pag May, araw-araw na talaga tayo nag-upload. Anyways, pero sisikapin ko na itong mag-April or tapusin natin ang buwan na ito na sana araw-araw na. Kung meron man, isang araw lang sa isang linggo ang pahinga. Ganun. Hello ako sa ating mga suki. Reynalyn Santos, Rosana Gonzalez, maraming salamat. Hi kay RD Edria, Elizabeth Lagunday, Sally Buma, Josephine Lachica. Hi ako kay Ma'am Judith McGovern. Pasensya na ako, 2 araw ko siyang hindi na kasi medyo marami tayong iniisip. Ma'am Judith McGovern and to her husband, thank you very much for dropping by always and for making me a part of your daily routine. Thank you so much. Hi kay Josephine Lacheca again, Marilyn Castillo, Angelita Villafuerte, Chazi Chay, Danica Didal, maraming salamat. Hello rin kay Rosemary Perez, kay Liza Teves, Felix Raida, maraming salamat. Shout out sa Medical Records Department, Alona Uning, Kerr, Aiko Jerubin na palagi raw nakikinig at nakaabang sa ating bagong uploads. Vicky Bayato, maraming salamat from Ortigas. Hello rin kay SP Amor Grial, thank you so much. Christina Season. Hello rin kay Rosemary Marinay, maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Rico Hernandez, thank you very much. Patricia Yabres, maraming salamat, laging nakikinig while on duty. Thank you so much, Mr. Maharlika. Gimaras Girl, Sally Buma, maraming salamat. Hello rin kay Nald Franciliso, maraming thank you sa'yo. Jeanette Mariano, maraming salamat po sa walang sawa ninyong pakikinig nitong ating channel. As in, I love you all so much. Huwag na nating patagalin. Eto na ang ating last part sa kwento ni Yana dito lang sa Dear Mama Mia. After all the festivities, si Dylan ay bising-busy sa mga regalo niya at busy rin sa pakikipaglaro sa mga kaibigan niya. Yung mga tao ay busy rin sa chikahan. Ako, may kasama rin ako noon ng mga relatives namin kasi inimbitahan namin from both sides, so busy din ang mama at papa ko. Ang kuya ko ay sila naman ni Phil ang nag-uusap with matching inuman. And Maddie, napakabilis niyang nakapalagayan ng loob ang kapatid ko kasi pareho silang fans ng K-pop. Favorite daw nila ang BTS at kung ano-ano pang hindi ko naman kakilala. They easily clicked kaya naman nandun sila sa kwarto ng kapatid ko. But then the more I stay there, the more na para po akong nalulunod. The laughter, the chat and chatter inside the house felt distant. Like I was hearing them through a thick wall. I should be there, celebrating Dylan's birthday, laughing along with my friends and family. Instead, I found myself walking towards the garden. My steps light but my heart unbearably heavy. Meron po kaming grotto ni Mama Mary doon and that is my small sanctuary, my quiet comfort. Ever since I was young, this had been my refuge, the place where I ran to when my heart felt too full. When my mind was a storm that I couldn't control. Doon ako umiyak nung malaman kong buntis ako kay Dylan. Nung hindi ko alam kung ano ang gagawin ko. But today was different. Tumayo ako sa harap ng grotto but I wasn't crying. That was the most surprising part. Shouldn't I be? I felt like I should be angry, but all I felt was this strange, numbing weight in my chest. Phil has a daughter, a 13-year-old daughter. That means he was already a father when I met him in Boracay, when we had Dylan. When I spent years wondering if he deserved to know, not realizing that he had already been through this fatherhood, that he had another child growing up in a world I knew nothing about. Napakarami kong tanong sa isip ko. Did he hide it on purpose? Did he think I wouldn't understand? Did it matter to him at all that I was blindsided? What did this mean for us? For Dylan? Natanong ko tuloy sa sarili ko, ano bang meaning nito, Mama Mary? Please enlighten me. I heard footsteps behind me, slow and deliberate. I didn't need to turn around to know who it was. Jens? Papa's voice was soft, warm, carrying the kind of patience that had always made me feel safe. He knew. He always knew when I needed him. I didn't say anything as he sat beside me. We sat in silence for a while, the quiet stretching between us, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was grounding, like I needed this pause before facing the storm again. Hindi ka ba iiyak? He finally asked, his voice gentle but curious. I shook my head. He nodded, as if he understood completely. And maybe he did. Maybe he knew this feeling of being caught between emotions, unsure which one to hold on to. Nasaktan ka? He said matter-of-factly. Ewan ko pa. Siguro, nasasayangan lang din ako, nabibigatan. Di ko na naiintindihan eh. Hindi mo ine-expect. Sa ilang taon, nagkita kami ulit. Kahit konti, hindi man lang niya pinaintindi sa akin. Hindi ko alam kung anong mararamdaman ko. Dapat ba akong magalit? Kung magagalit ka, maiintindihan ko. Pero Yana, galit ba talaga ang kinakailangan mo ngayon? I turned to look at him. Anong ibig mong sabihin pa? His gaze was steady and yet wise. Ang galit, napakabilis dumating. Pero ang pag-intindi, yun ang napakahirap gawin. I inhaled sharply, feeling the weight of his words sink into my chest. Hindi mo pa siya pinakikinggan, anak. Kasi wala rin naman siyang sinasabi. Hindi naman siya nagsabi nung una pa. I admitted the frustration slipping into my tone. If he trusted me, bakit hindi niya sinabi? I shared everything with him about Dylan. But baka may rason siya. Baka tulad mo, he was protecting something. Baka may mga bagay na hindi pa siya handang ipaalam sa'yo. Hindi yan excuse pa. Hindi nga, pero Yana, sa tingin mo ba mabuti na huhusgahan mo na siya bago mo pa siya pakikinggan? Silence stretched between us again. I wanted to protest, to say that I had every right to feel this way. And maybe I did. But Papa was right. I hadn't even given Phil a chance to explain. I had spent years making decisions for Dylan without Phil's knowledge, thinking it was for the best. And yet here I was, feeling betrayed that he had done something similar. The irony was suffocating. Hindi ko alam kung paano pa eh. Papa smiled, the kind of smile that had always reassured me. Nobody does. Parenting, love life, wala yang manual, anak. You just have to take it one step at a time. I turned to him, the heaviness in my chest loosening just a little. So anong gagawin ko? Pakinggan mo siya. Hindi ibig sabihin na maiintindihan mo kaagad, pero bigyan mo siya ng chance na magsabi. Hindi yung galit mo ang kinakailangan ngayon, Yana, kundi kapayapaan. Kapayapaan. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Maybe I wasn't ready to face Phil just yet. Maybe I still needed time to sort through this whirlwind of emotion. But Papa was right. I needed to listen first. Salamat pa. He smiled and patted my head just like he used to when I was a child. Maybe I wasn't okay yet, but maybe, just maybe, I would be. Bumalik ako sa loob and I feel like nagsuot ulit ako ng mask para pagtaguan at ikuble ang totoo kong nararamdaman. Unti-unti ay umuwi na ang mga bisita. Unti-unti ay nauubos na rin ang energy ni Dylan. Lumapit siya sa akin at agad ko siyang kinarga. Hindi ko na malayan na nakatulog na pala agad siya. Lumapit din si Phil at kinuha niya si Dylan. Ihatid ko na siya sa kwarto. Tumango lang ako pero hindi na ako sumama sa kanya sa loob ng kwarto. Naupo lang ako sa dining table namin, staring blankly sa mesa. Hindi ko namalayan na nakabalik na pala si Phil. This time with Maddie at ang kapatid ko. Hindi na kami magtatagal. Yan uwi na kami. Tumango lang ako pero hindi ko sila binigyan ng tingin. But what happened next ay hindi ko po napaghandaan. Si Maddie. Bigla siyang lumapit sa akin at niyakap ako. Thank you, Tita Yana. I'm so happy I got to meet Dylan and you. Hindi ko talaga napaghandaan yon. I looked at her and para po akong nakonsensya na hindi ko siya masyadong pinansin. Kasi I see pure gratitude in his eyes. Thank you for coming, Maddie. Take care always. And this time, I smiled at totoo na ang ngiting yon. Pero si Phil, hindi ko talaga siya pinansin ni binigyan man lang ng sulyap. Nagpaalam na rin siya sa mama, papa at kuya ko. Buti pa kumain ka na ate kasi lagi mo na lang tinititigan yung pagkain mo. Sabi ni Nainay na nakita pa lang pagkatulala ko. Hindi man lang natin napadala ng pagkain si Phil, dagdag pa niya. Hindi ako sumagot. Nay, alam mo ba yung batas na sinasabing the accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? Sumagot din naman si Nainay. Hindi ko alam yan. Ano yan? Ang ibig sabihin nito, hindi mo dapat husgahan ng isang tao na may sala dahil inakusahan siya. Ang dapat mong gawin ay isipin kung may kasalanan ba talaga yung tao. Kung meron bang malakas, konkreto, at syempre, solid evidence na nagpapatunay na tunay siyang nagkasala. Kasi nangangailangan ng mataas na level ng kasiguraduhan bago ka magbaba ng sentensya sa kanyang mga ginawa. Sabi ni ate sa isang mahabang paliwanag. Is the evidence not strong enough? Sabat ko naman sa usapan nila. Yes, there's a strong evidence but that does not mean he can't have a fair trial. Yans, kung hindi mo pa rin na-gets ito, ewan ko kung anong itatawag ko sa'yo. Tanga ba o boba? Napakahirap talaga nitong ate ko kung mang real talk. Nasasaktan na nga tayo, dinadagdagan pa. The following days, I was not myself. It had been 2 days since Phil told me he had a daughter. And 2 days since he hadn't given me an explanation. Walang text, walang tawag, walang kahit na ano. Dylan has been asking where he is and I just said na busy, which thankfully naiintindihan din naman ng anak ko. He just dropped that bomb and left to pick up the debris of my thoughts. My mind had been spinning, questions overlapping like tangled wires, and yet I didn't know where to place myself in his life. Who was I to demand answers? That was why on a work day of all days, I found myself texting Jay, Che, and Cha. Shut naman tayo. Ano? Sino ka? Anong ginawa mo sa friend naming si Yana? Reply ni Che. Nababaliw ka na ba, Yana? Uy, working days ha? Besh, Seriously? Ano to? Are we celebrating something or are we drowning in misery? Tanong naman ni Cha at Jay. Hindi ko sana sasabihin kasi I never drank on a weeknight naman, not with classes to teach the next day. But tonight I didn't care. If Phil had answers he wasn't willing to share, then maybe I needed to forget that I had questions. So here we are, sitting at our favorite resto bar, a band playing soft acoustic music in the background. I stared at my drink, stirring the ice with a straw, my mind detached from the laughter and energy surrounding me. My friends were watching me, cautious but waiting. They knew I'd talk when I was ready. What? I just wanted to unwind. Walang ibang rason, okay? Hindi ba pwedeng mag-inom ako with my best friends? On a Wednesday? Tanong ni Jay. May problema ka. Sige na, Yana. Spill the beans. I opened my mouth, ready to deflect when the band on stage starts playing the familiar chords of True Colors. It fills the air, and a voice, deep, rich, achingly familiar, sends a shiver down my spine. That song. My breath catches. No, it can't be. And then I see him. Martin. The Martin who used to be my best friend in college. The Martin who held my hand through sleepless nights of studying. Who laughed with me over cheap coffee and stale bread. Who made me believe just for a second that maybe, just maybe, I was someone worth choosing. My first love. But he didn't choose me. He chose someone else. And I told myself I had moved on a long time ago. And yes, someone might say, Yana, akala ko ba NBSB ka? Yes, but that doesn't mean hindi ako na in love dati, right? He stood there under the dim glow of the bar lights, his eyes locked onto mine as he sings. Every word, every note feels like it's meant for me. The way he sings, pleading, vulnerable, tells me this isn't just a performance. My friends fall silent, watching in awe. Even the usual chatter of the restaurant dies down. I feel exposed. Every wound I thought had healed suddenly ripped open. As the song ends, Martin steps down the stage, weaving through the tables until he's right in front of me. Yana, he breathes out as if he can't believe I'm real. Martin, I whisper, my fingers gripping my glass. My hands are trembling. He swallows hard, eyes searching mine. Kamusta, Yans? I exhale, my mind a mess of emotions. This is insane. It's been years. Why now? Why tonight? And yet, my heart stares at the idea of finally getting the closure I never realized I needed. Ikaw ang kamusta? Ikaw kasi ang bigla na lang nag-disappear eh. I'm sorry, Yans. Sabi niya. I inhaled sharply. I wasn't sure if I was ready for the conversation. I didn't even know kung anong nararamdaman ko sa mga panahon na yon. Kasiyahan ba? Galit ba? Pagka-miss ba? My mind dragged me back to college when everything was simpler. When ang problema ko lang ay kapag hindi ko siya makita sa isang araw. We were inseparable. Study sessions that turned into late night talks, coffee dates that weren't really dates. The way he'd rest his head on my lap while we crammed for exams, or how he'd grab my hand when we crossed the street. The way he looked at me when he thought I wasn't watching. I thought he felt it too. Until one day, he didn't. Bigla ka lang nawala, Marte. Para naman tayong walang pinagsamahan, sabi ko. Yun ang pinagsisisihan ko ng husto, Yana. Sagot niya na siyang nagpatahimik sa aming dalawa. The weight of his absence, of the years I spent grieving over our friendship, of the love I never had a chance to confess, it all settled in my chest like a heavy stone. I wanted to be angry pero ang totoo, I was just tired. I forced myself to meet his gaze, afraid of what I might see. But there it was, the old Martin, the one who used to hold my hand without thinking twice. And now he was there, stirring up all these feelings I had long buried, making me question if I had ever truly moved on. I missed you, he whispered. I let out a shaky breath, my heart warring with my mind. He was back. But did I want him to be? I was still reeling from my unexpected encounter with Martin when I stepped out of my car and saw Phil sitting on the porch waiting for me. Hindi pa nga ako nakaka-recover sa emotions ko ngayong araw na to, andito si Phil. Just when I thought my day couldn't get any more overwhelming. 2 days. 2 days na hindi siya nagparamdam. No messages, no calls, not even a pathetic excuse of a check-in. And now here he was, sitting on our porch like nothing happened, looking at me like I owed him my time when he was the one who vanished. My heart twisted in frustration, disappointment, and an ache I refused to name. Yana, mag-usap tayo. His voice was low yet hesitant. I exhaled sharply. Gusto mo pa palang makipag-usap? Pakinggan mo lang ako, please. I wanted to walk past him, pretend I was too exhausted for whatever explanation he had. But the way he looked at me, raw, desperate, made me stop. Sige, mag-usap tayo, sabi ko. The air was thick with humidity and the weight of unspoken words. Phil ran a hand through his hair and exhaled before speaking. I should have told you about Maddie sooner. She just came from the US para magbakasyon and she wanted to meet her brother. Hindi na ako nakahindi sa kanya. I swallowed hard. And hindi mo man lang naisip na sabihin sa akin? You had plenty of chances to tell me, Phil. I know, kasalanan ko. But there's something else. Something you deserve to know. Ano yun? He inhaled deeply before continuing. I met Maddie's mom when we were working for the same airline. She was a flight attendant. We were young, in love, and thought that was enough. I was 24 when we got married. The confession sent a jolt through me, but I stayed quiet, letting him continue. A year later, we had Maddie. She quit her job, and I took on every extra shift I could to provide for them. I thought I was doing the right thing, giving them a good life, but I ended up missing everything. Her first steps, her first words, birthdays, anniversaries, I missed it all. His voice cracked slightly and my heart clenched. That's why I go the extra mile for Dylan, because I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to miss his milestones. He admittedly looking at me with eyes that carried years of guilt. I bit my lip trying to keep my emotions in check. Sa grabe kong pagsusumikap, hindi ko na nakita that my ex-wife was slipping away. One day, she just asked for a separation. I fought for us, tried everything to fix what was broken. But the more I tried, the worse it became. And it affected everyone. Me, her, and most of all, Maddie. His Adam's apple bobbed as he swallowed. So wala akong magawa but to let them go. I could see how much those words cost him. The pain of that decision still lingered in his eyes. They moved to the US and I blamed myself for years. I thought it was all my fault until I found out. He hesitated, then I let out a bitter chuckle. She was with my best friend, even before she left. What? Gulat na gulat kong tanong. He nodded, his jaw tightening. Sinabihan niya ako na sa mga panahong wala ako, nandun siya, ang best friend ko. And she fell in love with the guy along the way. Silence hung between us, heavy with the weight of his past. They were together for 5 years before she asked for an annulment so they could get married in the US. I reached out before I could stop myself, placing my hand over his. He looked down at it for a second before giving it a squeeze. For a long time, Yana, I was angry at her, at him, at myself. I couldn't forgive, and it ate me alive. Until 4 years ago, I finally let go. I forgave them and I forgave myself. I squeezed his hand back, feeling the weight of his words sink into my chest. He turned to me, eyes filled with something I couldn't quite name. That's why I was so scared, Yana. Scared that history would repeat itself, that I would love you and ruin everything. My breath hitched. I didn't plan this. I told myself I wouldn't go beyond co-parenting with you, that it was safer that way, that I should focus on Dylan and not wanting anything more. Mama Mia, his voice trembled slightly as he said those words. Pero nakakapagod na. Tired of pretending, tired of holding back, tired of acting like I didn't love you, like I don't love you. My heart stopped. The words settled between us, lingering in the night air, thick and undeniable. I felt my walls shake, my carefully built defenses crumbling under the weight of everything he just told me. Phil loves me. And I didn't know what to say, because every part of me had wanted to hear those words, and yet every part of me was terrified of what they meant. So I did the only thing I could. I let my hand linger in his, holding on to the warmth of this moment, unsure of what would come next. I was lying in my bed thinking of everything that happened today. It was too much to take in, too much to process, too much to accept. Phil was once married. Phil was betrayed by his best friend. Phil had just confessed that he loves me. I breathed deeply, trying to find clarity in the chaos of my thoughts. Was it rational to accept that person has a past? Of course, everyone has baggage. Walang taong walang history. But was it logical to willingly step into a life that wasn't just his, but also Maddie's? Was I ready to face a woman who once had all of Phil's love, only to lose it the worst way possible? Would I ever be able to look at him without imagining the ghost of his past clinging to him? And yet, the part of me that had always been stubbornly hopeful, the part that had survived disappointments and heartbreaks, whispered that love was never about logic, that what mattered was the present and not the past, that Dylan deserved a family, that I deserved this too. Pero hindi ba delikado? Hindi ba ito masakit kapag hinayaan ko ang sarili kong mahulog pa sa kanya lalo? He had already consumed me once, long before I even realized it. Would loving him mean constantly fighting against the shadows of his past? And then there was Martin. I had barely thought of him in years, and now, out of nowhere, he was back, smiling like he never once broke my heart, saying my name as if he had every right to, as if time had not created a distance between us that have never been crossed again. Bakit ngayon pa? Why now when I was already standing at the edge of something terrifying and beautiful with Phil? Why did he always have the worst timing? Phil or Martin? A past that could return or a future I was afraid to claim? My mind was drowning in questions, but my heart only asked one. Would I let fear dictate my life, or would I finally choose love, despite the uncertainty. Hindi ko talaga in-expect ang mga pangyayari nung araw na yon, na bigla na lang dumating si Martin sa bahay namin. Eto siya, kilala na po siya ng lahat ng tao sa bahay namin dahil lagi po siyang gumagala sa amin noon nung college pa kami. Feel at home talaga itong si Martin dati sa bahay namin. At despite sa ilang taong lumipas, warm na warm pa rin ang pakikitungo ng pamilya ko sa kanya. Martin's voice rang through the house as he stepped inside, a bright smile on his face. Hi, Doki. Parang lalong tumatagal Nagiging bata ang paningin ko sa'yo. Mama rolled her eyes but I caught the small smile tugging at her lips. Si Martin lang talaga ang natatanging lalaking allowed na tumawag ng ganyan sa mama ko. Gustong-gusto din naman ng mama ko na galing kay Martin kasi si Martin ay napakatalino din ito sa math. Sa totoo lang, si Martin lang at ang mama ko ang pinakamalaking competition ko sa mathematics. Sinayangan niya talaga ang lahat nung nag-shift si Martin sa engineering. Alam mo, ayan ka na naman Martin. Kumusta ka na, iho? Bakit ngayon ka lang naligaw dito sa amin? Tanong ni mama sa kanya. Same old, Doc. Gwapo pa rin. Nangangamusta lang naman ako sa inyo. Tumawa silang lahat. Lumabas ang papa ko sa office niya. Uy, Martin, iho. Nandito ka? Kumusta ka na? Alam mo, matagal-tagal na panahon na kitang hindi nakikita. Oo nga, tito Galing kasi akong Qatar. Nagtrabaho ako sa isang oil company doon. Mabuti yan, iho. Hindi ka pa ba nakapag-asawa? Tito naman. Wala pa nga akong girlfriend, asawa na ba? And then he gave me a look na para bang may ibig sabihin. It was as if he had never left. The ease with which he settled into our home, the way my parents welcomed him, it was almost unfair. Martin, the boy who used to crash our house back in college, was now a man standing in our sala, comfortably joking with my parents while I stood there waiting for someone else. Tapos, biglang may sumilip mula sa dining area. Dong, ikaw na ba yan, Martin? Martin grinned and nagmano siya kay Nainay. Nako, Nainay, parang mas lalo kang naging blooming Alam mo bang namiss ko ang mga luto mo, Nay? Tumawa si Nainay, making everyone in the room chuckle except me. I wasn't entirely happy about his visit because my heart was waiting for someone else, and it was painfully obvious. Martin turned to me at last, flashing me his signature smirk. Yans, Mart, alam mo, ang taas na ng naabot mo, no? He gestured toward the wall where my framed of diplomas and graduation photos were displayed, from my bachelor's degree to my master's to my PhD. He walked closer, his eyes tracing every memory, every milestone. Nagawa mo talaga. What you always told me back in college. You made it, Yans. My throat tightened. I used to share my dreams with him, my plans, my ambitions, and he listened. I'm proud of you, Yans, he added, his voice softer now. I nodded, feeling a mixture of gratitude and sadness. Salamat, Mart. Oh, ano palang sinadya mo dito ngayon? I came here because I wanted to tell you something, sabi niya. So ayun, we excuse ourselves at pumunta kami sa Mailanay. Ano ang sasabihin mo, Mart? I know na napakalaki ng kasalanan ko sa'yo and I am forever sorry. I want to make it right this time, Yans, if you'll allow me. I swallowed hard, my heart pounding for a reason entirely different from what he had probably hoped. I could feel the weight of his words, the sincerity in his voice. If you'll allow me, gusto ko sanang manligaw sa'yo. I want to give you the love you really deserved. Love that I really deserved? You considered me your best friend in college but niha-niho, wala kang sinabi sa akin. Umalis ka bigla-bigla. Nag-shift ka ng course. Iisa lang ang school natin but you acted like I'm invisible. Ilang taon kong inisip kung nasa akin bang mali. I don't deserve that kind of love from anyone. Sabi ko na siyang nagpatahimik sa kanya. Martin, my heart is closed. Sabi ko. His brows furrowed but he didn't interrupt. And if ever it opens again, it will be for someone who truly deserves it. Someone who won't leave when things get complicated. Someone who will never make me question if they'll stay. The words hung between us, heavy with the weight of the past. He knew what I was referring to. We had been best friends once until he left. And if he could leave me back then, what was stopping him from doing it again? I would never let Dylan love someone who might one day decide he's too much to handle. And if that means I'll be forever alone, then so be it. Dagdag ko. You think iiwan kita ulit? I gave him a small and sad smile. You already did that once. And some absences are permanent, Martin. No matter how much you try to come back. I saw it in his eyes, Mamma Mia, that flicker of pain, of regret, of realization that whatever we had before had long since faded into something irreparable. I cared for him. I always would. But I could never see a future with him. Martin nodded. I just wanted you to know that I'll always be here. I nodded. My chest tight, my heart resolute. I know, but here isn't always enough. He looked at me one last time before turning away, and just like that, I knew whatever feelings Martin had for me, they weren't enough to rewrite the past, because my heart had never truly belonged to him. That same day, I was in the middle of a deep, much-needed nap when I felt a small hand patting my arm. Mami, gising ka na, may visitor. Nak, 5 minutes please. But my son was persistent. His tiny hands patted my face this time. Mami, bilisan mo na, my daddy is here. My eyes fluttered open, brows furrowing. Ano? Sino? My daddy. I blinked at him, confused. Did I hear that right? Was I still dreaming? Because the last update I got from Phil is he was in New York. That was just 2 days ago. But Dylan's face was lit up with excitement. My heart began pounding in my chest as I pushed myself up. My drowsiness instantly forgotten. And then, as if summoned by my thoughts, I heard his voice. Hi, Mommy! Gising na! Phil was standing by the doorway, looking at me with that familiar smirk. That one that always made my stomach do flips. He was really here. He was here. I must be dreaming or still half asleep, but then he walked over and without warning, leaned down and pressed a quick kiss on my lips. A kiss on my lips. It was brief, just a soft brush of his lips against mine. But it jolted me awake more effectively than any alarm clock ever could. My body froze, my heart nearly leaping out of my chest. What? I stared at him, wide-eyed, my pulse racing. He just smiled like nothing happened, like kissing me was the most natural thing in the world. And then he turned his attention to Dylan. Told you she'd still be sleeping. Dylan giggled and nodded in agreement. Mommy always sleeps when she says 5 minutes. I was still trying to process everything when Phil sat on the edge of the bed. Nagpromise ako kay Dylan and Maddie na dadalhin ko sila sa farm. Hindi ako papayag na hindi ka kasama, kaya pumunta ako dito. Gusto ko magpaalam sa mga magulang mo. My heart did a little somersault. Andito si Maddie? Okay lang ba sa'yo, Mami? Gusto rin kasi niyang makabanding ang kapatid niya at gusto ko rin na magbanding tayong apat. He looked at me. I saw something in his eyes, something that made my heart squeeze. I felt a warm bloom inside me, so overwhelming that it nearly brought tears to my eyes. He didn't just come back, he came back for us, for Dylan, for me. I exhaled, my lips curving into a smile, a real one, a full, unguarded, heart-smiling kind of smile. Okay, let's go to the farm. Pagdating namin sa farm ni na Phil ay nagulat ako. I thought it was just some cute little farm na may konting vegetable patch na may mga fruit trees, but no. Sa'yo talaga lahat to? Gaano kalaki to? I asked habang tinitignan ko ang lawak ng kalupaan na nasa harap ko. 16 hectares. Meron akong financial advisors na laging nagre-remind sa akin na dapat hindi talaga ako nakadepende sa sweldo ko. Farming is one of the best investments if you do it right. Wow, sabi ko. Ilang taon ko rin tong pinag-ipunan sa totoo lang. Hindi ko to na-acquire overnight. Buti na lang at may kakilala ako na may-ari nitong lupa na nag-migrate na sa US. Literal na dugot pawis ang ininvest ko dito. Lalo akong na-amaze sa kaniyang mga sinabi. Honestly, Pilot Phil was already hot. But Farmer Phil, ibang dating. The way he moved, the way he directed his workers while listening to their concerns, the way he smiled when he talked to them, and the way he smiled when he talked about the farm, it was a different kind of passion, a different kind of sexiness, and I was struggling not to ogle at him like a lovesick teenager. Mami, pwede ba ako maglaro dito? Oh, wag mong galawin yung mga manok, anak, ha? Humanap ka ng safe na lugar para sa'yo. Anak, gusto mo bang makakita ng mga baby goats? Tanong ni Phil. Dylan gasped. May mga baby goats? Yes, at meron ding baby horse. Maddie, who had been quietly observing, suddenly spoke. I can watch him, tita. I looked at her, unsure of how to respond. I had been so nervous about this trip, mostly because of her. I didn't know how to act around her, and I didn't want to overstep. But she was kind, and despite my awkwardness, I wanted to get to know her. Okay, Iha. Dylan would love that. She gave me a small smile before turning back to Phil. I'll watch him, Dad. Phil looked between the two of us as if sensing the silent truce forming. All right, pero huwag kayong masyadong dumikit sa mga hayop, ha? As Maddie took Dylan to the horses, Phil turned to me and reached for my hand. Halika, Mami. Eto, si Nanay. Si Nanay ay ang yaya ni Phil mula nung baby pa siya. Now retired, she and her husband took care of the farm. When we arrived at their bahay kubo, she hugged Phil tight before turning to me, holding my hands warmly. Salamat sa pagpunta, Yana. Ang ganda-ganda mo naman, she said with a kind smile. Alam mo, mabuti ikaw nakilala ko. Yung isa, hindi ko talaga nakilala eh. Referring to Maddie's mom. I glanced at Phil, who looked a bit uncomfortable, but Nanay continued. Iho, Phil, natutuwa ako na may sinama ka dito. Alam mo, maganda itong magiging buhay mo kasama ang mga anak mo. Deserve mo lahat ng to kasi napakabuti mong tao. Mabait, masipag, hindi hambog, tapos gwapo pa. Nanay, wag ka namang sumobra dyan, baka ma-inlove tong si Yana sa akin. Ay, hindi pa ba? Tanong niya. Ako ay hindi alam kung ano ang magiging reaksyon ko. Kaya tumalikod na lang ako at alam kong pulang-pula na noon ang mukha ko dahil nagiinit na ito. Napakadaldal ni Nanay. Mami, dito ka muna ha, magtatrabaho muna ako doon. Mag-check muna ako ng mga pananim namin na durian last time. Sama mo ako. Sure ka? Mainit tapos malamok pa dun. Napakarami pang mga nangangagat na kung ano-ano. Oo nga. Gusto kong makita yung mga pananim ninyo. Nako iho, isama mo yan si Yana kasi ako nang bahalang magbantay dito sa mga bata. Tignan mo, parang natutuwa pang mga anak mo eh. Sa totoo lang, ay mas nag-e-enjoy po ako sa bukirin kaysa sa dagat. Mas relaxing para sa akin. Nag-enjoy ako dahil ang dami-dami nilang tanim. Napakaganda din siguro mag-harvest ng mga pananim nila. Kahit ano na lang ang ginawa kong request noon para ipakuha. Buko, saging, kasava at kung ano-ano pa. Tapos pagbalik namin sa bahay ay nag-prepare si nanay ng lunch. Kamote tops, talong, salad, tinola na native chicken, tapos isda. Grabe ang sarap-sarap talaga ng buhay sa bukid. Pagkatapos naming kumain ng pananghalian ay nagmuni-muni kaming dalawa kasi yung mga bata ay nandun kay nanay. Dito ko gustong mag-retire, mommy. I want to build a life here, grow old here. Alam mo, napakaganda dito. Yun talaga ang isa sa mga pangarap ko. And with that comes a realization. I used to think love was just about the feeling, the butterflies, the excitement, the way a person could make your heart race just by looking at you. But love truly is more than that. It's the small, quiet moments. In the way someone shows up for you, for others, in the kind of man he chooses to be, even when no one is watching. I see Phil now in a way I never let myself before. I see him when he's with his workers, how he listens, how he values their efforts, how he treats them with respect. Walang arte. He doesn't just lead, he guides, he protects, he inspires. And they look at him with trust, with loyalty, because he has earned it. I see him when he's with Dylan, the way his face softens when our son calls him daddy, the patience in his voice when he explains things, when he listens to his endless stories, the way he carries Dylan like he's the most precious thing in the world. But then there's how he is with me. He doesn't push, doesn't demand. He waits even when it's clear he wants more. He shows up even when I try to keep him at a distance. He makes me feel safe and understood. I realize now that he's been showing me love in a language I wasn't ready to hear before. But I hear it now, and I feel it. For the longest time, I told myself that all I wanted was for Dylan to have a father in his life, that I wanted us to co-parent, to give him a sense of family. But that's not the whole truth, is it? Because the truth is, I also want Phil, and I love him. I love him not just as Dylan's father, but as the man that he is. The man who makes me laugh, who challenges me, who sees me in ways no one else ever has. And if I love Phil, then I must love all of him, including the parts of his life I once feared. Maddie. I look at her now, at the little girl who shares his eyes, his quiet strength, and I know I cannot love him without making space for her. And that's okay. Because love, real love, is not about taking. It's about opening, expanding. And for the first time in a long time, I'm ready to open my heart. That night, dun kami natulog sa farm. May bahay kubo style na bahay doon na kung saan nagsistay si Phil kapag nandun siya. Isa lang ang room pero napakalaki. Si nanay ang naghanda ng aming higaan. Nakalinya na ang mga foam. Tabi-tabi kaming apat kasi walang bed doon. The dim glow of the light cast soft shadows on the old wooden beams. And the night outside was filled with the sound of crickets and the occasional hoot of an owl. Dylan and Maddie, exhausted from running around the farm all afternoon, were already deep in their dreams. Dylan had one arm slung over Maddie, his soft snores mixing with the rustling leaves outside. The only available space left was beside Phil. I hesitated for a moment, but Phil, already lying on his side, lifted the blanket in silent invitation. There was no point in pretending I didn't want to be held. So I slipped in beside him, and as soon as my head touched the pillow, his arm wrapped over my waist, pulling me close. Ay, ang tagal ko nang gustong gawin to, sabi niya. Matulog? I teased, feeling his chest rise and fall steadily. Hindi matulog, he whispered, pressing a light kiss on my forehead. I chuckled softly, letting the warmth of his body seep into mine. For a moment, neither of us spoke. It was one of those peaceful silences that didn't need filling. Just the sound of the night, the occasional shift of the kids beside us, and Phil's slow, steady breathing. Then he broke the silence. I'm expanding the house. Ipa-concrete ko to, magpapagawa ako ng rooms para kina Maddie at Dylan. Gusto ko may sari-sarili silang lugar dito. Seryoso ka dyan, Phil? Tanong ko. He nodded. Oo, I want them to feel at home here. He paused for a moment before adding, at ikaw din? My heart skipped. Phil. He must have felt my hesitation because he squeezed my hand, his thumb drawing soft circles over my skin. I'm serious, Yana. I exhaled shakily. Phil had always been like this, steady, sure, always making me feel safe even my own doubts tried to creep in. You've always so sure, sabi ko. I have to be, para sa'yo. I smiled at that, tucking my face against his chest, savoring the quiet security of his arms around me. Natulog na tayo, Phil, I whispered, feeling the weight of exhaustion finally settling over me. He hummed in agreement. Good night, Mommy. Good night, sabi ko. I love you. He murmured, and before I could even react, he was already fast asleep. I stayed still, listening to his steady breathing, my heart swelling with so many emotions all at once. Then softly, so softly that I almost didn't hear myself, I whispered, I love you too, Daddy. I thought he was already deep in sleep, but in the next second, his eyes fluttered open, locking onto mine in the dim light. A slow smile curved in his lips before he kissed me. Long, deep, full of everything unspoken between us. His fingers curled at my waist, pulling me even closer, making my skin tingle. But then a tiny snore from Dylan snapped me back to reality. Daddy, may mga bata sa tabi natin. He groaned, dropping his forehead against my shoulder. Mommy, he whispered, voice thick with frustration. Nakakainis naman, no? Grabe ang tawa ko noon while pressing a soft kiss on his cheek. Matulog na kaya tayo? Sabi ko. He sighed dramatically but pulled me tighter against him. Matutulog na, wala akong choice eh. We both chuckled softly before settling into the warmth of each other's embrace. And that night, for the first time in a very long time, I slept better than I ever had. The next day, naghanda na kami para umuwi nung biglang may sinabi si Phil. Mommy, okay lang ba kung dadaan tayo sa bahay namin? Gusto kong ma-meet mo ang mama at papa ko tsaka yung nakababata kong kapatid kung nandun siya. Nashock ako for a second. My heart raced. Meet his parents? Hindi ko alam kung handa na ba ako. Phil must have sensed my hesitation because he quickly added, Huwag kang matakot, Mommy, kasi andito naman ako eh. I swallowed. I wasn't sure why I was so nervous. Maybe because this was a step further than I ever imagined. Meeting the parents was significant. It meant something. And the way Phil looked at me, there was something earnest and hopeful in his eyes that made it difficult to say no. Sige, sagot ko. As we arrived at their home, I found myself stunned. It was a beautifully maintained ancestral house, an elegant mix of old and new. The wooden floors gleamed under the soft light, and the intricate carvings on the doors spoke of a rich history. The house had warmth that felt inviting, like it held years of laughter and love. Ang ganda naman ng bahay niyo, sabi ko. Gustong-gusto ko po pala, Mama Mia, ang mga old houses. Sa lolo't lola ko pa to, dito lumaki ang mama ko, kaya inalagaan talaga nila ng maayos. Dito rin ako lumaki. Phil's mama and papa greeted us at the entrance, their smiles warm and welcoming. Nagmano silang tatlo ni Phil, Dylan at Maddie. Ako ay naguguluhan ako kung ano ba ang dapat kong gawin, kaya nakimano na rin ako. His mama crouched down, arms open wide as Dylan ran into them with giggles. Niyakap din niya si Maddie. My heart softened at the sight. Dylan was immediately at ease, like he belonged there, like this was another home waiting for him. Mapa, this is Yana. Phil introduced me. Ngumiti ang mama niya. Welcome, Yana. Phil's papa patted my back gently. Welcome, Yana. It's nice to finally meet you. Salamat po, sir. But he quickly waved me off. Call us Mama and Papa kasi alam namin in the future, magiging parte ka rin talaga ng pamilya namin. Sabi niya with a laugh. Tumawa kaming lahat but my heart tightened in my chest. The acceptance was so immediate, so unforced. It was overwhelming in the best way. Pagpasok namin sa bahay, I noticed the wall lined with photos. And as I glanced around, one in particular caught my eye. It was a graduation photo, a young woman in a salabay, smiling proudly. UP? Tanong ko. Yes dear, UP Diliman. Sagot ng mama niya. I turned to her in surprise. You went to UP? I was a professor before I retired. Naka-PhD din ako doon, matagal na. I did my PhD there too, sabi ko. Wow, a fellow scholar ng bayan. That started an entire conversation that flowed so naturally. It almost felt like I was talking to a long-time mentor. We shared experiences about research, the stress of publishing papers, and the struggles of balancing personal life with academia. It was effortless, and before I knew it, I felt truly at ease. Nalaman ko na may iba pa palang tatlong kapatid si Phil. 2 babae who are in the US at ang isa ay isang politician sa kanilang lungsod. Pagkatapos naming kumain, ay nasa table pa rin kami at nag-uusap-usap. Kaming 4, si Phil, ang mama at papa niya at ako. Biglang sumeryoso ang mama niya. Sa tinagal-tagal ng panahon, Phil has been alone, focused on his work, parang walang patutunguhan. But now, he smiles more, he laughs more. At alam kong isa ka sa mga rason na yon, Yana. And then her gaze turning affectionate as she looked at her son. That's all we've ever wanted, anak. Lagi naming pinagdarasal na sana gabayan ka sa daan mo. Seeing you now, we know you're exactly where you need to be. Phil reached for my hand, squeezed it gently. I felt the weight of their words, of what it meant. For Phil, it wasn't just about introducing me. This was his way of showing his family that he had finally found his place. We are so happy that Phil has found his way home. And next time when you come back here, we hope you come as a complete family, married. The words hung in the air, settling in my chest like a gentle weight. I glanced at Phil, who was already looking at me, waiting for my reaction. I swallowed, forcing a small smile. Thank you, Ma. I wasn't sure what the future held, but in that moment, surrounded by Phil's family, I felt something I hadn't allowed myself to feel in a long time. Hope. I never imagined na ang buhay ko ay magiging ganito. Full of love, full of certainty, and full of him. Phil and I have been making this work, not just as co-parents, but as real parents to Dylan. It hasn't been easy considering the distance. He is still based in Singapore while Dylan and I are in Mindanao. But we've found our rhythm. We have spent countless weekends flying to Cebu or Manila just to see each other halfway. And every time Phil comes home, we always go to his farm, our quiet escape from everything. In between the miles and missed moments, we've built something real, something strong. And then came his birthday. Dylan and I planned something big. Well, Dylan mostly did. He had been talking about visiting his daddy for months. So when the opportunity came, we took it, but hindi ko sinabi kay Phil ang totoong date ng pagpunta namin. Ang date na sinabi ko sa kanya ay sakto na may flight siya sa Bangkok, pero mabilis lang naman yon. So binigyan niya lang ako ng key para sa condo niya. We arrived in Singapore late at night. Dylan was already half asleep by the time we reached Phil's apartment. But the excitement in his tiny body kept him awake just long enough. I quietly opened the door to Phil's room. Napakasarap ng tulog niya at kitang-kitang pagod na pagod siya. Dylan climbed onto the bed and whispered, "Daddy." Phil stirred but didn't wake up. Then, with all the enthusiasm his little body could muster, Dylan shouted, "Happy birthday, Daddy!" Biglang nagising si Phil, disoriented for a moment before his eyes found us. Me smiling at the foot of his bed and Dylan na tumatawa sa tabi niya. His face was priceless. Surprise, disbelief, and then pure overwhelming joy. He sat up, pulling Dylan into a tight embrace before reaching out for me, his eyes shining. "You're really here?" His voice was rough from sleep, but the emotion was undeniable. "We're really here," sabi ko, feeling the warmth of his touch sip into my skin. That weekend was everything. We celebrated simply, just the three of us, exploring the city, eating our way through Phil's favorite spots, and laughing more than we had in weeks. It felt right. It felt home. On the night before kami bumalik ng Pilipinas, Phil took me somewhere special. We drove to Changi Airport, but instead of going inside the terminals, he led me through a restricted area. I raised an eyebrow, but he just smirked. We reached a secluded spot, quiet, serene, overlooking the runways. The city lights flickered in the distance, but here it was peaceful. I watched as Phil took a deep breath, his eyes on the planes, taking off and landing. Dito ako pumupunta, Mami, kapag may iniisip ako. I nodded, understanding him completely. Then he turned to me. "And I've been thinking about this for a long time." His hand found mine, tracing soft circles on my skin. "I love you, Yana. Not just because you gave me Dylan, but because you are you. I love the way you overthink everything but still choose to take a chance on us. I love that you make me want to be a better man, a better father. I love every single thing about you, even the parts you don't love about yourself." My throat tightened. Then he pulled something out of his pocket, a small red velvet box. He opened it, revealing a simple but breathtaking ring. Dylan was fast asleep in the back seat, his soft snores filling the silence. Inside this car, in this quiet, sacred moment, Phil asked me the question I never expected but had always hoped for. "Will you marry me?" It was the easiest yes of my life. I nodded, tears slipping down my cheeks as he slipped the ring onto my finger. He pulled me close, kissing me softly, reverently. We stayed like that for a long time, wrapped in each other, our future finally taking shape. No grand gestures, no extravagant displays, just us, just love. And that was more than enough. I never thought my existential crisis at 27 would lead me here, standing in the middle of a sunlit garden, about to marry the man I once thought was a fleeting mistake. Who would have imagined that one impulsive night in Boracay would change my life forever? That the stranger I surrendered my heart and body to would become the love of my life. Life has a funny way of leading you exactly where you're meant to be, even if the path is chaotic and unexpected. The pandemic had changed so many things, our timelines, our dreams, the way we viewed the world. But if there was one good thing about it, it was that it gave Phil and me the time to grow, to heal and to choose each other, not just in fleeting moments, but in everyday mundane. And now, after a year of navigating, co-parenting, rediscovering each other, and finally choosing love in its most real, raw, and imperfect form, we are here getting married, in front of our family and friends, under the soft golden hues of the late afternoon sun. The setting is simple yet breathtaking. No grand ballroom or extravagant decorations. Just nature embracing us with its quiet beauty. White chairs lined neatly along the aisles, delicate strings of fairy lights hanging from the trees, and a rustic wooden ark adorned with fresh white lilies and baby's breath. I steal a glance at my son, Dylan, who is standing proudly by Phil's side, dressed in his tiny suit, grinning from ear to ear. He had been practicing his role as the ring bearer for weeks, taking it very seriously. And beside him, Maddie, Phil's daughter, now my daughter too. She holds a bouquet of white roses, looking at me with a quiet warmth. It took time for Maddie and me to get here. It wasn't easy at first, knowing that Phil had a past that involved a marriage, a life before me. There were doubts, yes, fears, and moments when I questioned if I could fully embrace everything that came with loving him. But the truth is, love is never just about the easy parts. Love is choosing someone even when things are complicated. Love is looking at Phil and knowing that, despite everything, he is my person. Love is looking at Maddie and realizing that she is not just a part of Phil's past. She is a beautiful part of our future. And I love her. Not because I have to, but because she has quietly found a way into my heart, just like her father did. The music starts playing, the soft notes of a familiar song floating in the air. My father, holding my hand tightly, looks at me with teary eyes. "Ready ka na ba, anak?" he asked, his gentle voice but filled with emotion. I nod, swallowing back the lump in my throat. As I take my first step down the aisle, my eyes met Phil's. There he is, standing at the altar, looking at me like I am the most beautiful thing he has ever seen. His dark eyes hold so much love, gratitude, and quiet promise. And in that moment, I know exactly, this is where I'm meant to be. I used to think love was grand gestures and once-in-a-lifetime moments. But love is this. Love is a man who once was a stranger but is now my home. Love is the child who holds my hand and calls me mom. Love is the life we are about to build together, one imperfect, beautiful day at a time. And today, in the simplest yet most magical way, I choose him. Again and again and again for the rest of my life. At hanggang dito na lang po ang mahabang kwento ng buhay ko, Mama Mia. Naway na gustuhan niyo po at ng iyong mga tagapakinig ang kwentong ito ng buhay namin ng asawa ko. Maraming salamat po sa pagbabasa nitong aking sulat. Lubos na nagmamahal, Yana. Hoy naman, parang fairy tale ang story ni Yana, but she is definitely right. Love is the small things. Hindi po yung grand gestures, hindi po yung napakaganda at napakaraming mga bulaklak and everything. Kanya-kanya po tayo ng expression of love. And kanya-kanya rin po tayo ng kapalaran pagdating sa pagmamahal. Naku, naway nagustuhan nyo ang kwentong ito ni Yana, at kung nagustuhan nyo, alam nyo na ang drill, like and share this video, and syempre, wag nyong kakalimutan na mag-subscribe dito sa channel natin kung hindi pa kayo nakapag-subscribe, and then click the notification bell para lagi po kayong nanonotify sa tuwing meron tayong bagong uploads dito. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagmamahal at pakikinig, at syempre mag-share na rin kayo ng sarili ninyong kwento. Mag-email lamang po kayo mamamiacdo0317@gmail.com. At huwag kakalimutan na kung hindi po kayo makapag-email dyan, meron po tayong ating Facebook page, Mama Mia CDO or Mama Mia Cagayan de Oro. Hanapin nyo lang and paki-like and follow na rin. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat hanggang sa susunod nating kwento. I love you all so much and thank you for your support and love. Bye-bye! Paalam!